It's starting to make sense now on what level of ignorance she's at because she purely goes off emotional. Quote, "This is an issue that makes me completely crazy." It wasn't this issue, lady, that made you crazy. I don't know what made you crazy, but somehow along the way, your wires got crossed. And I don't know when it was, but it sure the hell ain't this issue. Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. In this episode, we'll be looking at White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, or Psaki, however you want to pronounce it, breaking down into tears. Yes, folks, crying over Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' parental rights law. Folks, if she didn't look crazy enough before, she's definitely on a whole nother level of crazy now by crying over this law that supports parents and children. Folks, this stuff is nuts. It comes from Fox News, and it says here, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki broke into tears while discussing Florida's controversial parental rights bill in a podcast released this week. Quote, "I'm going to get emotional about this issue because it's horrible," Psaki said on Jessica Yellin's News Not Noise podcast, while fighting back tears discussing the Florida legislation recently signed into law by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis that prohibits classroom instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity with children in third grade or younger, or in a manner that is not appropriate. Folks, she's crying over something that virtually has no effect on her or her life. She's breaking down over something that supports children. Folks, it kind of makes sense why she would cry over this, because she's all for this type of stuff. She's for, and this came out from the White House, they actually published this, she's for sex reassignment surgeries for adolescents. Yes, cutting off the penis, giving them breast implants, puberty blockers, and hormone pills, folks. This stuff is wild that she is for, and this just makes her look a little bit more crazier than what she already was. And I would just like to ask folks, have any of you ever cried over any sort of legislation or law that was put in? I know I've never cried over it. It just shows you how theatrical she is, how much she's ran by her emotions, how much she doesn't use logic in her life, but rather she uses emotions to guide her every direction and thought. It's starting to make sense now on what level of ignorance she's at because she purely goes off emotional. Quote, "This is an issue that makes me completely crazy." It wasn't this issue, lady, that made you crazy. I don't know what made you crazy, but somehow along the way, your wires got crossed. And I don't know when it was, but it sure the hell ain't this issue. Sorry. Psaki explained that Republicans are using the legislation as a political wedge issue, an attempt to win the culture war in a way that is harsh and cruel to kids. Really, but you showing kids cartoons in the classrooms, like say in New Jersey, where you're showing cartoon characters masturbating, you're showing them that they need to take hormone blockers, puberty blockers, or I should say not hormone blockers, but hormone enhancers, and that it's okay to like the same sex, or it's okay not to know what you are. If you don't know if you're a male or a female, just give it time, you'll figure it out. All this stuff, that's not horrible. That's not weird. That's not culture war. That's not harsh on children. That's completely fine. But, when you have a sane person pushing legislation here that stops that type of behavior from being taught in the classroom, that's crazy and wild. It just shows, folks, how out of touch this lady is with reality. She reminds me like Will Smith slapping Chris Rock across the face, just thinking like that type of behavior is okay, or doing something of which a celebrity does that we all go on like, what are you doing? But they don't acknowledge that anything that they did was wrong. That's like Jen Psaki here. Quote, "It's like kids who are bullied, and then all these leaders are taking steps to hurt them and hurt their lives and hurt their families." What? Where do you get this from? Can somebody explain to me where this comes from other than out of her ass? Because I don't know. I will agree. Look, that a portion with this. I'm sure there's some trans kids or gay kids or queer kids or whatever you want to call these children. I'm sure some of them are being bullied. But you're going to see that the leaders are taking steps here to hurt their lives and their families' lives. Folks, some of these kids aren't even out to their parents. So I don't know how you're hurting the family's lives when they don't even have a clue what the hell is going on. and clearly they haven't had a clue what's going on in the classroom, because now they're all up in arms, both Republicans and Democrats, statistically, on this issue about what these LGBTQ alphabet soup people are doing to their children within inside the classroom. Well, it goes on here to say, in a statement to Fox News, DeSantis press secretary Christina Pushaw, who's awesome, by the way, she's like a Kayleigh McEnany 0.5. I wouldn't call her 2.0 because she's just not there yet, but I love her. Calls Psaki's podcast appearance troubling. It's a good word for it. Quote, it's troubling that a Biden administration official would break down into tears because of the law that prohibits parental rights, or excuse me, protects parental rights. I'm sorry. I just can't get over the fact that she broke down into tears. It is so odd and weird. Why is it so important to her for teachers to instruct children in grades K through 3 about transgenderism and sexuality? Phenomenal question. Phenomenal question. But remember, it's the DeSantis administration that wants to hurt children, not the indoctrination of children in the classroom. That's completely okay to Psaki in the White House. Psaki has repeatedly criticized the Florida bill along with President Joe Biden, who called the bill hateful in a February tweet. Here's the tweet itself. I want every member of the LGBTQI+. I don't know why we keep adding letters here. I don't remember when the I came into effect, but whatever. Community, especially the kids who will be impacted by this hateful bill, to know that you are loved and accepted just as you are. I have your back, and my administration will continue to fight for the protections and safety you deserve. Recent polling, and I love this polling here because it shows that the polls are swinging definitely towards the parental rights law. The bill has shown here, which was labeled the Don't Say Gay bill, despite not banning the word or containing the word in legislation, is popular among Florida voters, including 50% of likely voters in the Democratic primary, who say they're opposed to the kind of teaching that the bill protects. And actually, the numbers get even greater. It's in the 70th percentile when you talk to parents that have children. So the study that they're quoting here is more towards kind of everybody, the general population, those that don't have kids, versus single mothers, single fathers, all the sorts. But again, that polling increases when you focus on the population that actually has kids, and especially kids that are in schools. So this stuff just shows how out of touch the Biden administration is with the public. And I mean, this is a different topic here, but just to kind of support what I'm saying is they keep trying to push these mask mandates on the American people. And everybody sees what's going on with cell phone video of these flights, of the flight attendants being told, hey, you know what, folks, breaking news, we could take off our masks now. And everybody in the plane goes crazy, meaning they're going ecstatic over the excitement of not having to wear a mask anymore. Same with these flight attendants. Everybody's excited that they're saying, hey, you know what, we don't have to wear masks anymore on a plane. Hoorah, awesome. And you got Psaki over here, this authoritarian regime government that they want to sit there and formalize and bring down America, is going, oh, hold on a second. No. We need to put back in place the mask mandates. You need to follow the science. All this stuff. It just shows you how to touch with reality these people are, these progressives, these leftists. And it even goes a step further. When I say not in reality, I literally mean they're not in reality. Again, you have somebody, there's people out there in the world, and I hope that they seek help, but you have people that in their body, they think that there's something that they're not. Meaning you have these biological males that think that they're women. And then we're all supposed to pretend and play along with that type of thinking that we're looking at a biological male and we're supposed to play along that they're a woman. It's just, it's not dealing with reality. And so you have this person on the left, that's the White House press secretary, that's dealing with a knucklehead as a boss, and we have to all deal with them as well, that wants us to somehow play into her delusions. And she is delusional. By all means, hell, she's crying over this whole bill. Again, who the hell cries over legislation and law? And we're supposed to all pretend like we're the crazy ones and she's the one that has it all together. I don't know, folks. It sounds a little batshit crazy to me. I apologize for cussing, folks. I know some of you have written me saying, hey, you know what? I appreciate if you wouldn't cuss, but I'm sorry, folks. Sometimes I just don't have any better vocabulary to describe the shenanigans that goes on in the Biden administration here. But there you have it, folks. Jen Psaki's crying over legislation. She's crying over because parents are finally taking back their kids' education, which is how it should have been in the first place, and not allowing these progressive leftist teachers, these LGBTQ elemental plus alphabet soup instructors, to teach transgenderism, gender ideology. If you want to be a male, you can be. If you want to be a woman, you can be. You're more than happy to switch genders, and we're going to guide you along the way, by the way. We'll make sure that this is an easy process for you. We'll hold you in. We won't let your parents know about it, and we'll guide you along that transition from a male to a female, or vice versa, or hell, none of the two binaries, because now there's an in between. You can be whatever you want. You want to be an alien? You can be an alien. You want to be a kitty cat? Meow. You can be a kitty cat. All this crazy stuff, folks. With that being said, thank you so much for joining me here at the Bald Brad Show. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Share with your friends and family all over social media. And folks, I will see you later here on the Bald Brad Show.